Well, welcome guys to episode 1 of the recovery series. Now, this series is all about showcasing the different recovery needs that people have with regards to their movement, and then looking to create a short cool down or recovery program, tailoring specific yoga techniques with a more therapeutic approach for that individual. So a little more specific. So my husband, Andrew, who definitely was not coerced in any way to be here, has requested a cool down for an anaerobic leg day session, so his weight training session. Now, the focus here is on improving the flexibility of the lower region of his body, whilst also improving his mobility, and all of which will not only enhance his training, but will also support him greatly in the days that follow, where his muscles might be feeling a little tight or a little achy after his training. So here you're going to see him standing in Tadasana or mountain pose, one of my favorites for upright positions or asana. Now, this is a great one for refocusing the mind and instilling that concentration, which is absolutely vital when we're looking at recovery for the body. Now, not only does this refocus the mind, but it also forms a very strong foundation for any movement in an upright position. And we're building that strength from the ground or our feet up. So slowly now Andrew's going to take this into a bit of a rock and roll, a nice slow rocking forward and backward action of the feet, shifting the weight gently, taking time, there's absolutely no rush. And this then becomes a great test for balance and to deepen awareness of his body and to tune into how his legs might be feeling. From here we're going to slowly land back into Tadasana. Unlock the knees here into a nice soft bend, and then just allow the hands to glide down the thighs, heading towards the shins here, holding for a moment into Uttanasana fold, our standing forward fold, and then gliding the hands back up. So we come back into Tadasana just for a brief moment, and then glide once more down into Uttanasana. Here we're going to hold this slightly longer, so a couple of breaths, lingering, and sometimes it's nice to add a little sway through the body if there is tightness or tension. But using the breath here is a great form of support. And then sliding back up the legs gently, a brief moment in Tadasana, and then one more time to glide back into Uttanasana fold. So here Andrew's going to hold this for an extended period of time, so around 5 slow, purposeful breaths, giving the body some time to really come a little deeper into the stretch. Gravity is going to be his friend here in drawing him further and further down without force, without pressure. Nice and easy with the breathing. Beautiful. And then after Andrew's next breath out, he's just going to start to separate the feet a little wider apart. So we're entering now into what's known as Prasarita Padottanasana, or wide-legged forward fold. So this is obviously taking the stretch a little deeper into the backs of the legs, getting those hamstrings to lengthen and stretch out a little bit more. And Andrew can have a go here at shifting the weight into the balls of the feet. So it's just not the heels utilizing here for support, but we're bringing the weight a little more forward. And again, testing balance. So nice, slow, deep breaths in and out, keeping the mind calm. A little sway here from side to side, just to shift that body weight from left to right. And holding for another breath or two. Good. So slowly from here, Andrew's going to safely find his way down to the floor. So sometimes we need to bring the feet a little closer in to do that, or just bend the knees a little more forward, using the hands on the floor here to support the body in coming down. So Andrew's going to swing his feet and legs forward out in front here and come to recline down to the floor in supine position, preparing here for bridge or Setu Bandhasana. So stepping the feet a little closer into the buttocks, separating knees and feet apart. So again, roughly that hip distance apart. and the arms are going to start off nice and long down beside the body. So pressing here the hands and feet against the floor for a little bit of leverage, and again to create a firm foundation as the hips start to rise up towards the ceiling. Now the idea here is that we're focusing on that beautiful deep stretch happening now in the quads. So from your knees towards your hips, lengthening into that region and breathing. So again, if there is tightness or tension here, the breath is what's going to keep you here longer and calmer. We're not wanting to build stress in the body. We're wanting to help reduce some of that physical and mental stress. So Andrew's now going to place his hands to the outside of his ribs. We bend the elbows just to allow the hands to freely come up. And by doing this, we're just going to generate a little more awareness to that more expanded breath that we can create. Now, this is not a rushing of the breath. We're not wanting to sniff the breath in any way to get it in quickly, but we're wanting a very slow, expanded breath in, filling up the lungs and actively expanding across the chest, and then a slow expanded breath out. So we're going to slowly be drawing everything back in. So it's almost like imagining a balloon filling up inside the body and then releasing out. Taking time. One more deep breath in and out here. Beautiful. And then very slowly, Andrew's going to place his hands back to the floor and just allow the spine to roll down part by part, releasing out from bridge. Beautiful. So knees here can lift up towards the chest, catching onto the sides of the knees, and we're just going to rock the knees from side to side here, massaging into the belly and easing any pressure off the back. Now gently from here, as we rock back to center, we're going to wrap the hands around the right knee. Left foot is going to find the floor here and press into the floor as the right knee draws a little closer towards the right shoulder. It doesn't have to come all the way in, just moving in that direction. Using that left foot on the floor here just to release a little deeper into it. And then if all feels good, left leg is going to slide now out along the floor, anchoring down through the heel, taking a few moments to enjoy the length on this side as you draw the right knee in, keeping jaw nice and relaxed. And then ever so gently now, Andrew's going to glide his left heel in towards the body, so in towards the chest, and then smoothly extend the left leg up towards the ceiling, and again leading from the heel, finding now that beautiful length at the back of the leg. Now, working to firm into abdominal muscles here to support this next movement, Andrew's going to slowly maintain the length in the left leg and glide it down towards the floor again. As the heel touches, it's just a nice light touch before we slide all the way back in towards the chest, extending smoothly up towards the ceiling, holding that length for a moment, and then gliding down towards the floor as a straight leg if possible. And then that heel touches before smoothly coming back upon the chest. So we're going to hold that knee in a bent position here, swap the hands over. So both hands now wrapping around the left knee and guiding the left knee towards left shoulder as the right foot plants down to the floor. So we're just going to use that again for some leverage here, breathing into whatever you're finding on this side, and then have a go at sliding the right leg out as a straight leg, anchoring down through the right heel. Beautiful, taking a few breaths. So slow and steady, we're going to come into that gliding action now. So going to have the right heel sliding in towards the body, right knee bending and then extending that leg upward towards the ceiling. Again, still leading with the heel, trying not to shake. And then using firm abdominals here to support that length further, we're going to start to glide away from the body down towards the floor. Nice light touch of the heel as it smoothly draws back in towards the body, towards the chest, and then re-extends up to the ceiling. So second round here, we might have a little more range, a little more movement and freedom in the stretch. Glide the leg away from the body. And here as the heel touches down, we're going to slide once more back in upon the chest and then hold that bent knee position. Lovely. So hands here can find the floor as your feet touch down to the floor. Going to rock from side to side to slide the hands underneath the buttocks now. Palms facing down to the floor and elbows shuffling in as close as possible. So this is going to create a little platform here to support the base of your body as we now work on extending both legs up towards the ceiling. Wanting to lead up with the heel as best as possible, bending into the knees as much as you need to, with a focus here on using your breath to extend and gain as much length as possible through the backs of the legs. So if the legs start to really shake here and that starts to overtake the stretch, we would ease off slightly. So we're not wanting to push past our boundary, but to explore here where we can go comfortably. So taking here a few more slow, controlled, deep breaths, bringing about that sense of calm again. Wonderful. Last breath in and out. And on that exhalation, we can just bend the knees a little more fully and lower the feet down to the floor. Beautiful. Releasing your hands out here. We're going to choose a side to roll onto, roll over slowly, and from there traveling up now into sitting. So we're going to finish Andrew's cool down here with Paschimottanasana, which is our seated back extension or fold. So Andrew's going to extend both legs here from his hips, anchor down through the heels and allow the legs to be slightly apart. Here, raising the arms up towards the ceiling on inhalation. And instead of reaching the hands straight away forward from that point, Andrew's going to exhale as his fingertips find the thighs and glide forward towards the feet. Doesn't mean that we have to find the feet. You might be comfortably holding onto the sides of the legs here, but just heading towards that direction. Holding just for a moment, and then we're going to glide our way back in. Re-extend on inhale, find the length, find the reach. Fingertips again, finding the thighs on exhale and traveling forward now for a second round. Holding the second round for 2 slow, purposeful breaths. So every round we're taking it a little further, a little deeper. Beautiful. After that next breath out, we're going to glide the fingertips back in, re-extend. This is now the final round. And then exhaling, gliding forward from the thighs and holding into the fold. So we're going to be holding now here for a little longer. Beautiful. One more deep breath in and out. Wonderful. And then just gliding back into center. So thank you so much for tuning in. That brings us to the end of Andrew's Cool Down, episode 1 of the recovery series, focusing on recovery for an anaerobic leg day session. Thank you so much for joining us.